has like a history of people
This room has good
expressing
vibes,
themselves.
actually.
Yeah, it's got good vibes.
Yeah, it does.
Well,
I love this room, actually.
I subscribe to the idea that places have memory.
Yeah,
I think there's something real to that. That's why
it does feel that way, actually.
Yeah. I'm sure if you go to Diddy's house, it probably feels real weird. Probably feels weird walking around that house. Probably like, what the f happened here?
Yes. It's like J.Lo was like his ex-girlfriend. and it's like now deciding she's like warning people against Trump. I'm like, well, wait a second. So how many people did she warn against Diddy?
Right.
Oh, 0. Okay.
Right.
Well, maybe we shouldn't trust her opinion.
Oh gosh. Joe Rogan and Elon Musk dropped a massive bombshell that has everyone's jaws on the floor. They're claiming Jennifer Lopez, yes, that J.Lo, is allegedly Diddy's handler. And get this, right after this shocking revelation came out, J.Lo supposedly fled the country. Like, what is even happening right now? Is she running from the heat? Or is there something even darker going on behind the scenes? So, on Joe Rogan's podcast, he and Elon went all in when discussing Diddy and his web of scandals. The whole conversation was basically them asking what we've all been thinking. How has Diddy managed to get away with all of this for so long? They didn't hold back, spilling everything from his legal troubles to Hollywood's deafening silence about him. And honey, they dragged J.Lo right into this mess. First things first, they dove into Diddy's recent arrest. We're talking serious charges here: sex trafficking, racketeering, and prostitution. These aren't just any charges, sweetie. These are the kind that can destroy careers and reputations forever. But Elon and Joe, they were just getting started. They put those infamous freak-off parties Diddy used to throw in Los Angeles under a microscope. You know, the ones where A-list celebrities would show up and everyone would whisper about what really went down behind those closed doors? Well, honey, they weren't whispering on this podcast. Joe straight up said these parties were Hollywood's worst-kept secret. Elon jumped in with the tea, saying there's no way people didn't know what was happening. Then came the J.Lo moment that had everyone gasping. Elon didn't hold back when he called her out for staying silent about Diddy's alleged behavior when they were dating. The shade was real when he basically said, she's out here warning people about Trump, but how many people did she warn about Diddy? None. 0. And chilly, the internet is eating this up. The comments are savage. Elon is right. Why should we listen to J.Lo about anything? And J.Lo needs to be held accountable. She knows. But wait, it gets even juicier. Joe and Elon started connecting dots between Diddy's old party crowd and political figures like Kamala Harris. Now they weren't directly accusing anyone, but those eyebrows were raised about the connections between Hollywood elites, political power, and who's protecting who. Elon took it to another level, suggesting the music industry must have known what was going on. He's been tweeting about this before, basically asking how many people in entertainment were complicit by keeping their mouths shut. It's giving "we see you and we're not buying your excuses." Now here's where it gets extra spicy. Rumors are swirling that Diddy's legal troubles might involve way more celebrities than anyone thought. Some people are saying J.Lo still has financial ties to Diddy, even after all these years. Others think she stayed quiet to protect her own image, or maybe she just didn't want to get dragged into this mess. But here's the thing that's making everyone's head spin. If someone as high profile as J.Lo knew what was happening and didn't say a word, chilly, how deep does this rabbit hole really go? Joe and Elon didn't come right out and say it, but their conversation definitely hinted at a bigger problem in Hollywood. This culture of silence and protection for the rich and powerful. They even threw some shade about how Diddy's influence has let him dodge accountability for so long. But you could tell they were dead serious underneath the jokes. They're basically saying enough is enough. And honestly, they're not wrong. This isn't just about Diddy anymore. It's about the whole system that lets people like him operate without consequences. From the party regulars to the industry insiders to the political connections, this web is getting messier by the minute, and it's all unraveling fast. And get this, more names might come tumbling out as these legal cases against Diddy move forward. But now, there's even more chatter about J.Lo possibly being involved in some super shady business. Why? Well, remember that lawsuit that came out against Diddy last month that included 2 other celebs? Now we know one of them was Jay-Z, and the other one, chilly, it could have been J.Lo for all we know. Let's spill all this tea because this story is messy with a capital M. If you're J.Lo right now, you might be sweating bullets or leaving the country. Here's the deal. There's speculation that J.Lo might be that unnamed celebrity who allegedly settled with Tony Busby to keep her name out of a lawsuit. But here's the irony. If she really did settle, Jay-Z just went and made her collateral damage. Now her name is smack in the middle of this whole scandal. The internet is literally on fire, with rumors that J.Lo might be tied to these allegations involving Diddy, Jay-Z, and some seriously disturbing claims. Remember that 13-year-old Jane Doe case? The one where she said Diddy, Jay-Z, and an unnamed female celeb were all involved in some sketchy horror movie type scene? Well, multiple sources are now claiming J.Lo could be that unnamed woman. They're saying there's even footage of her and Diddy arguing the night of the alleged assault. Now let's keep it real. This could be about anyone because Diddy has never been the poster child for faithfulness. That man has been a lot of things, but loyal? Never. But back then, J.Lo and Diddy were practically joined at the hip. If J.Lo wasn't involved, why hasn't she come forward to clear her name? Her silence is only adding fuel to this already raging fire. And get this, photos from that night have people thinking J.Lo's argument with Diddy is somehow connected to the case. The lawsuit describes an unnamed female celebrity who supposedly stood by and watched. If J.Lo did settle, can you imagine the audacity of Jay-Z dragging her name back into the mix? Because let's be honest, Jay-Z and Beyoncé's reputations are hanging by a thread here. If these claims stick, it's a WRAP for them. Now, why hasn't Jay-Z come out with a full denial yet? Instead, he's out here beefing with the attorney like that's going to make this all go away. Jay-Z is coming out swinging against these heavy allegations, and he is not holding back. First, he flat out denied everything, calling the accusations heinous and labeling them as a blackmail attempt. And let's not even get started on how he dragged the lawyer behind this mess, Tony Busby. Jay called him a deplorable human and straight up fraud. Shots fired. Here's where it gets even spicier. Jay-Z questioned why these allegations aren't being handled as criminal charges if they're supposedly legit. Instead, they're being brought up as a civil case, which had him side-eyeing Busby's whole strategy. Jay basically said if this was real, why isn't it going to a higher court? Of course, Busby wasn't about to take that lying down. He clapped back, accusing Jay of trying to silence the alleged victims. Busby claimed the victim wasn't even asking for money, she just wanted confidential mediation. Sounds like he's calling out Jay for twisting the narrative. And it doesn't stop there. Jay's lawyer, Alex Spiro, got in on the action and dropped a bombshell of his own. He claimed that Busby's firm pressured another woman, completely unrelated to this case, to make false allegations against Jay. According to Spiro, she refused. If that's true, yikes for Busby. Oh, and let's not forget the bigger picture. This isn't just about Jay-Z. Busby's been out here filing lawsuits left and right, including against Diddy, with over 150 individuals alleging assault and exploitation. It's a legal storm brewing, and Jay is caught right in the middle of it. This is shaping up to be a major courtroom showdown. Both sides are making bold claims, and it looks like no one's backing down anytime soon. Now, is this going anywhere? If anything, it's helping Diddy's case, not his own. At this point, it's all looking super shady. Jay-Z is now front and center in this updated lawsuit, but there's more tea to be spilled. Some newly surfaced photos show J.Lo and Diddy in the middle of a heated argument that same night everyone's been buzzing about. Remember when folks on Twitter and Instagram were swearing up and down, oh, they weren't partying? Meanwhile, images are sitting right there showing they were partying and cutting up just as the rumors suggested. And these photos? Yeah, you can clearly see it's an argument. So the lawsuit claims there was a third celebrity, a woman who witnessed everything when the guys allegedly took turns with the victim. Yikes. And let's talk timelines. It does match up with J.Lo's relationship with Diddy, which was from 1999 to 2001. Now, word on the street is Ben Affleck supposedly left J.Lo back then because he didn't want to deal with this mess. Plus, there are whispers that J.Lo and Diddy are still somehow connected financially. Now, y'all know Diddy's been called a freak of the week for years, so we're just saying, could anyone be around him for 2 years and not accidentally get dragged into some messy business? Like the man was inventing freak-offs before freak-off money was even a thing. But hey, maybe J.Lo dodged all that? Who knows? Back to the lawsuit. The woman who's accusing these rappers says she was only 13 when this all went down. You might remember the details. She was allegedly lured into the scene, given something to make her feel lightheaded, and then things spiraled from there. And guess what? Diddy reportedly burst in all hyped saying, "Are you ready to party?" The lawsuit says Jay-Z was already in the room at this point, and there was also Celebrity B standing by watching it all. Yeah, this whole thing is straight up wild. Now here's where it gets messy. J.Lo hasn't been officially named, but with all this chatter and Jay-Z's interesting response to the allegations, people are starting to side-eye her hard. Like, imagine if Celebrity B is someone who thought settling would keep their name out of it, only for Jay-Z to bring it all back up again. Honestly, some folks are even throwing Beyoncé's name into the mix. Though come on, would they really label her Celebrity B? That's a reach. Still, Jay-Z's whole Tony Busby is scum statement didn't exactly deny anything, so now everyone's just guessing. And let me tell you, if this is a bad year for Diddy, it's not looking great for J.Lo either. They're saying she and Ben have been having problems, and part of it might be because he didn't want to deal with this whole situation. Do you think J.Lo might be the third person involved in this messy lawsuit that completely flipped the game on its head? Because honey, this story just keeps unraveling, and we're all here for the drama. Let us know what y'all think in the comments because this tea is scalding hot.